Jingran spent his entire life moving toward one destination, revenge. And now that he's finally reached it, there's a strange emptiness waiting on the other side. For someone who has spent so long living for a single purpose, what happens when that purpose is finally gone? For the first time in his life, Jingran has to face a question he probably never had to seriously consider. What does he want to do with the rest of his life? But before we get to that, there's something about Jingran's plan against Muyu that I find really interesting. His goal was never simply to defeat Muyu. It was to kill the man responsible for his parents' deaths. And Muyu was probably the worst possible person to have as a target, because he was extremely good at avoiding death. He hid behind his mechanisms, his resonance abilities, and his puppets. Even when Jingran finally killed him inside the Manifold Sanctum's Mirage Realm, Muyu still found a way to survive.
Those reverberations. Who sent the cloud shuttles and the auto puppets? This can't be over that easily.
And Jingran seemed to understand exactly what had happened. He even recognized the trick by referencing an old saying.
I think I read about this in some old storybook. The old sacrifice the body, save the spirit trick.
Which makes me wonder, what if Jingran was already expecting this? Think about what happens next. Muyu manifests into an incredibly powerful form, one that Jingran can't realistically deal with by himself. And yet, Jingran is the one who helped Jingxiao and Rova reach Muyu's location. Then they defeat him. But Muyu survives again. Except this time, he's no longer the powerful being we just fought. He's reduced to a small and weak reverberation. And that's when Jingran can finally track him. Personally, I think there's a chance this was exactly what Jingran wanted to happen. Not necessarily every single detail, but the general idea makes sense. Jingran knew Muyu was clever enough to survive the death of his body. So instead of trying to chase every possible form Muyu could take, Jingran may have allowed Jingxiao and Rover to deal with the version of Muyu that he couldn't handle alone. And if Muyu survived that fight again, he'd have almost nothing left. That's exactly what happened. Muyu was weakened, exposed, and finally unable to hide. And when he begged Jingran to spare him, Jingran delivered the killing blow.
You stopped being human a long time ago. Where's the perfect in that?
If this interpretation is correct, then Jingran wasn't simply playing both sides during 3.5 and 3.6. He was playing the long game. He didn't need to be stronger than Muyu's strongest form. He just needed to make sure that, eventually, there would be nowhere left for Muyu to hide. And that's what makes Jingran's willingness to sacrifice his own lifespan so interesting. For most of his life, he treated his remaining time as something he could trade for his goal. If giving up part of his future meant getting closer to Muyu, then it was worth the price. His life had a purpose, and that purpose was revenge. But now that Muyu is finally dead, that purpose is gone. And Jingran is left with something he may not be prepared for: a future. He could chase power. He could find another enemy, another mission, another reason to sacrifice himself. But maybe he doesn't need to anymore. Maybe Jingran finally gets to enjoy the life he spent so long risking. His master clearly had a huge influence on the way he lived, and Jingran spent much of his life trying to follow that example. But perhaps carrying on his master's legacy doesn't mean imitating his life forever. Maybe it means finally choosing his own.
Look, I've always known my wick was shorter than most. But how I burn it, that's my call. Even if the gods themselves disagree.